up shots, not taking the ball to the hole, being a little too passive. And Dwayne Wade said, "You got to be aggressive. You're supposed to be one of the top players in the league. You got to go to the basket. You got to take charge in this game. You got to dominate. I've already done it. It's your time now." And he tried to do that in game 2, and he saw what happened there. So he said, "This isn't going to happen. I'm going to show you how it's done. And then maybe next year I'll give you the reins. But right now is my time. I'm going to get my second ring." And he's basically teaching these guys how to win big games right now.
Yeah, and it's coming at an opportune time. I mean, this is supposed to be, if you're going to be labeled as one of the top players in the game today, and by a crazy Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest of all time, you're going to have to close out games, demand the ball when the time comes, and know that you're going to either knock the shot. You have to know that you're going to make the shot when you take it. So you got to have that confidence. And I don't think LeBron is not as, he can do all the flashy dunks.
Yeah.
He can make all the trick shots, but when the game is on the line, he's nowhere to be found. And that's what's going to make him one of the greatest players of not only this era, but possibility, moving himself into one of the 60, 70 greatest players, in the game, one of the top 5, hopefully. But I am not sold on LeBron James being the top player in the game. I'm just not. Kobe Bryant actually, and crazy as I may say this, still one of the top players that I would, if the game is on the line, I'm putting it into Kobe Bryant's hand.
Oh, that's a guarantee. If you had LeBron or Kobe and the end of the game, you'd pick Kobe Bryant.
As much as I hate him.
If you had Dwayne Wade or Kobe, that'd be a toss-up, really. And that's, Dwayne Wade makes his money, makes his mark on making big plays, on key plays during the game, especially when it's time to win a game.
Right.
And Dwayne Wade showed it last night. He showed it in game 2 when he was scoring 36 points in the third quarter, and LeBron James decided he was going to just start jacking up three-pointers. This team is Dwayne Wade's team.
Right,
and
of course.
It's in a few years, it might not be, only because Dwayne Wade is going to let that happen. He's such good friends with LeBron James that he's going to teach LeBron for the next couple of years, this is how you get it done. This is how you become a great player, not by scoring points, not by, having great stats, but by doing it on the defensive side and doing it when it matters.
And LeBron has done some of those things. He hasn't got he doesn't have the full package just yet. He has the game, but he doesn't have the mentality to close out a game. And that's what you need, especially if you're going to win championships in this league and consider yourself to be a great player. Now, I got last week got into an argument with a guy and he said that LeBron James is the greatest player without a ring. I don't think so. You can't pass up the
Not yet.
You can't pass up the Barkleys and the and the Malones and the Stocktons. You got to remember, Karl Malone is the second leading scorer all time. All time. Behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he scored a lot of points, grabbed a lot of rebounds, but never got a ring to show for it. Now, if you want to blame somebody, you can blame Michael Jordan for that because Barkley, Ewing, Malone, Stockton, Reggie Miller, they all had to run against Michael Jordan. And you already know Michael Jordan had that mentality that he wasn't, without shadow of a doubt, going to lose against anybody. He was going for rings. And so that's you got to have, sometimes you're going to have to piss teammates off to get what you want.
And that's Dwayne Wade, and that's why I forgot who said it, but someone said that the closest thing to Michael Jordan right now is Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
And why is that? Because Dwayne Wade, he knows when it's time to take over a game.
Right.
He knows when to get on a player, and when he does get on a player, that player steps up, i.e. Chris Bosh, i.e. LeBron James. When LeBron James was in Cleveland, and LeBron James was yelling at players and things like that, you didn't see any progression out of their game. You actually saw a decline in their game, i.e. Larry Hughes. i.e. Antoine Jameson. So, I mean, these types of players, the great ones, are the guys who know how to. It's a mental game. Know how to get into a guy's mental capacity and know how to make him step up. And Michael Jordan knows how to do that. He knew with Scottie Pippen is a sensitive player. He didn't get on Scottie Pippen much of the time. Why? Because he knew that Scottie Pippen was jealous of him, and he was very sensitive. He got on the other players to step up, and those players stepping up, made Scottie Pippen step up because he didn't want to be the weak link in that chain. So you look at Dwayne Wade and what he's doing now, and it really is reminiscent of a Michael Jordan. Now, I'm saying that with the slightest of tongue, because Michael Jordan, to even put somebody next to Michael Jordan, you're talking about a guy who won 6 championships, 6 finals MVP, okay? Dwayne Wade is on his way to win his 2nd MVP if the Miami Heat will win this championship. And he's got a long way to go, but he's on his way. And with a team like Miami Heat with LeBron James and Chris Bosh on his side, and they're just going to get better, Dwayne Wade could win 4 or 5 championships, and he could be the MVP of at least 3 or 4. And you could just say Dwayne Wade is on his way, and he sees it, and he's not going to let it go. He's going to take over, and you've seen it throughout this whole finals.
Exactly. I mean, and even in the Game 2 loss, he had 36 points. I just was not – I was appalled by how those final minutes of that ball game turned out, and it should have never went the way that it went for Dallas. And Miami should be sitting 3-0 right now.
Yeah. And
looking at a sweep tonight.
It's a mismatch, and I've said it before they even played. I just that wave of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade coming at you full force, and LeBron James is really not even on his game, and I could just suspect that Dwayne Wade is going to be getting on him for Game 4, saying, "Hey, this is our time. We've got to win this game and put them in the dirt. And I need you to help me do this thing, so come out aggressive." And you're going to see that with LeBron James.
Now, it's funny. It's funny, Patrick, in this series, they have been the officiating in this series has been god awful terrible to me.
Horrible.
It's been horrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. LeBron James has had a lot of traveling calls. Some of those are actual travels.
Yeah.
Okay, but some of the officiating from Game 3 was you sat there and you almost wanted to pull your hair out or pull your head off your body, because it was just that awful. Like, there was a play where I think Danny Crawford called a double dribble. A double dribble? Really?
To LeBron James.
On LeBron James.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And then there were fouls that weren't fouls.
No.
Without question. And I'll give that for both sides. And Dirk Nowitzki just missed a free throw, man, so because you consider yourself Mr. Perfect. Even though we all know Dirk Nowitzki is human.
Yes.
Because if he wasn't human, he would have hit that with a game-time shot, and it would have went to overtime. I mean, it was a good look.
What do I call him? The big choke.
The big choke, yeah.
I had 36 points. Okay, he was dominating the game, and the whole time I'm sitting there watching the game, I'm like, okay, he's dominating, he's doing well. But when it comes down to it, he doesn't make the shot that counts. And you have a Udonis Haslem who hasn't played the whole season, 5 inches shorter than Dirk Nowitzki, and locks him up, doesn't allow him to drive to the basket, then plays good stand-up defense, and yet Dirk still got off a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
He should have hit that shot. He hits that shot 9 times out of 10, and he missed it. Why? Because he's the big.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of comparisons to him and one Larry Bird. I was like,
ridiculous.
Wow, you serious? People are serious about this. And Larry Bird was 6'8", 6'9", slow, but he had help. Right now, Dallas does not have help. He can't get it. No, Dirk can't get it from Jason Terry, even though he had 15 points, but he was only 5 of 13 shooting. He didn't get it from J.J. Barea because, believe it or not, and I hate to say this, Mike Bibby locked him up. Him and Mario Chalmers locked up Barea, so they weren't able to do anything. Deshaun Stevenson only had one shot.
That's what frustrates me, man, when people say Dirk has no help. They're in the finals. I don't know how you could get to the finals if you don't have a team that has help. What they need to really just say is the Miami Heat defense is locking them up. They have no open shots. When they do get one, they can't believe it, and they're rotating. They're swarming all over the ball. They're jumping everywhere. The whole team is breaking out once they get a rebound.
Right.
It's a tough task to score against the Miami Heat.
Definitely.
And this is a team who has averaged over 100 points during the season and can't find a shot at home.
Now, mind you, Patrick, when they found open shots, they couldn't knock them down.
They can't knock them down.
They couldn't knock them down because why? It's all about rhythm of a ball game. If your rhythm is thrown off, even when you get open shots, you won't be able to knock them down. But yes, that's what the Miami Heat has done. They have thrown off the rhythm of the Dallas Mavericks because there hasn't been a 100-point game in this series so far. So
they've never faced a defense like this. They played against a Portland team who was not known for defense. They played against a LA Laker team who is starting on their decline, and they're getting old. And they played against an Oklahoma City team who plays well, but the matchup for Dirk Nowitzki versus Ibaka and all those things, it just seems as though Dallas was just on a roll. But they never played a defense that swarms to the ball, that is long, athletic, and they just keep coming at you. They're very aggressive, and I believe it was Magic Johnson, which I don't care too much as a commentator, but he said that this is probably one of the best defenses that he has seen since the Detroit Pistons. And
wow, wait a minute. Not this former talk show host.
Yes.
Not this talk show host who needs to try and get back into it, but they won't let him because of his speech anyway. But where I'm getting at, he said that Miami's defense is the best he's seen since Detroit, knocking off what San Antonio has done for over a span of 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And you put the Miami defense over, you put the Miami defense as the greatest defense you've seen since Detroit.
Well, you look at it this way. They beat the Boston Celtics, who has just Hall of Famers all over.
And were beat up.
Okay. Beat up regardless. They beat them up.
Yep. They were beat up.
They were beat up because they got beaten up, and then
even before then.
Then they go against a MVP in Derrick Rose, who they locked him up. Then they go against a Dallas team who is very well balanced. You're talking about a bench that one of the best benches in the league. You're talking about a Dirk Nowitzki, a Jason Kidd, Hall of Famers guaranteed. Jason Terry, one of the top 6 men in the league.
Yep.
And you're talking about, a team who's well balanced, well coached.
Mm-hmm.
They can get shots open.
Exactly.
Who one of the quickest little guards out there to just cause havoc against defenses, breaking down defenses and things.
He's been great.
He just hears footsteps. He has wide open layups and misses them. But NBA players don't miss layups unless they feel uncomfortable. And the Miami Heat defense make other offenses uncomfortable by their swarming, their attack, their aggressiveness, and they don't stop. They go after the player. They finish out their defense, and it's exciting to watch them play. And don't let them get a rebound and run, because it's over after that.
So how does Miami win to go up 3-1?
Miami wins the same exact way that they've been playing, and that's playing hard, swarming, and it starts with defense. If they get that defense, get those rebounds, get out on the break, push the ball, you'll probably see one of the worst offenses ever in the NBA history to win a championship as far as a half-court offense. because once they get a lead after like 10